Hello everybody, welcome back to Beating the Odds. It is Sunday, March 19th, 2023, and we are back with our college basketball best bets of the day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach, and welcome to Beating the Odds. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit the notification bell so you never miss a pick. We post this college basketball videos every single day along with the NBA and NHL. By the way, yesterday we went 4-0 in the NBA, 2-0 in the NHL, so we had a 6-0 day in the other sports. We're going after our first 4,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited to have you all here. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some serious money. To recap yesterday's results, it was kind of a confusing day. My picks went 4-4, but you might have gone 6-2 depending on how the lines went. So we had San Diego State, easy winner, -5.5. We had Vanderbilt -1.5. Now, I know a lot of y'all tweeted at me, took the money line. So in that case, you were fine. I took the -1.5. I almost always do money line. I'm not really sure why I did that, but Vanderbilt won by 1. So it depends on what you did there. You either, most of you probably won. If you bet the 1.5, took an L. We took an L there. Tennessee plus 3.5. Got a lot of hate in the comments for that one, but winner. Arkansas plus 3.5. That was a winner. Fantastic comeback. Muss is Mr. March. I love to see him, man. Back in the Sweet 16. He's fantastic. Missouri -6.5. All-time bad pick. Terrible on my part. Auburn plus 5.5. Listen, when it comes to Auburn, I'm going to take the loss on my record. However, I didn't lose this game. They lost this game. I'm separating myself. How on earth do you miss 14 free throws in the second half and on top of that, make 4 shots the entire second half? That is unbelievable. Unfucking believable. It's ridiculous. So Auburn, that was an L. Crazy. Texas -5.5. Another one where it's like, if you got them at -4.5, which a lot of you guys did, you won this game. How on earth do you foul a three-point shooter up by 8? And he makes a shot. Like, what on earth are you thinking, you absolute morons in Texas? Ridiculous, but good winner there, especially as I have a future on them. And we did an Alabama-UCLA parlay yesterday. We had Alabama -2.5. We had UCLA -3.5 on a parlay. It was +104. We got a win there last night. So we could you may have been 6-2 depending on what the lines you got. We went 4-4. I went 4-4. So overall, not a terrible day, but we're bouncing back today. We're 221 and 167 for the year so far in college basketball. So we're in a really, really good position. We have 6 picks going today, plus 2 more I'm definitely going to add later. I'll talk about those here in a minute. I'll start with our best bet of the day. Or not our best bet, but our first bet of the day was going to be Marquette Moneyline, -140 versus Michigan State. Just to be clear, I'm fully invested in Marquette to make the Final Four. I have a future on them to make the Final Four at 4-1. So I'm taking the money line here instead of the spread because all I care about is them winning. But I think the spread here is good as well. Michigan State's going to get a lot of love because they're Michigan State and everyone's familiar with them, like the general public. And Izzo's a solid coach. But Kolek's the best guard on the court on Marquette. He's by far the best guard on the court on either side. They have the size to deal with a Sissoko and bother a Joey Hauser, and they have the athleticism to deal with anyone that Michigan State throws at them. Plus, Shaka Smart is a fantastic coach, and I mean fantastic coach. I've known him from his days at VCU. And Michigan State hasn't impressed all game like they will here. So much of a fight is style. I mean, we know this. Styles make fights. And the style that Marquette plays in, I think, gives Michigan State some serious trouble. Michigan State is a very trendy pick to win today, to be able to move on to the Sweet 16. I'm going to go with Marquette. I love Marquette in this spot. I'm rolling with them here. Marquette moneyline -140. If you took the -2.5, that wouldn't be a bad bet either. Next, which is one of my favorite bets of the day, is Kentucky -2.5 versus Kansas State. This is a nightmare matchup for Kansas State. Kentucky's going to come in here on a roll. Shibwe is a walking double-double, and there's no one on Kansas State to be able to remotely slow him down. I mean, if you try to put Keontae Johnson on him, you're going to get Keontae Johnson to foul trouble like that. When Reeves is healthy on Kentucky, their point guard, he is a top 5 point guard in the country, maybe top 3 or top 2. He's fantastic. Jacob Toppin is absolutely electric. And when you look at Kansas State away from home, they are terrible away from home. And yes, they beat Montana State. Congratulations. You beat Montana State. Awesome job. But this is not Montana State. This is Kentucky. And they're going to go in there and they're going to roll. They're going to win. And listen, the people are going to bet Kansas State. And they're going to tell you they're good because there's a 3 next to their name. They are not that good away from home. Kentucky had some weird losses in the middle of the year to underseed them. They're a more talented team than a 6 seed. I am rolling with Kentucky here. Because if Reeves doesn't get hurt this year, they might be a 3 or a 4 seed, maybe even a 2 seed, because they could win a lot of the games that they missed. So I'm rolling with Kentucky here, -2.5. Next, we have Xavier, -4.5 versus Pitt. This is a classic case, and I mean classic case, of recency bias and what people want to see happen. People desperately, by the way, including me, desperately want to see another double digit make the Sweet 16. Pitt looked great against Iowa State, although I think that's more Iowa State than it was Pitt per se. Xavier is going to roll in this game. And Xavier, even though Xavier looked very vulnerable against Kennesaw State, and I don't like, to be clear, I don't like watching Xavier play basketball. I think it's honestly, I don't think it's a very good product of basketball. But just matchup wise, I mean, Xavier is going to be able to match with the size of Pitt. Sule Boom is a fantastic point guard. I mean, fantastic point guard. Kunkel can shoot the lights out. I think Xavier bounces back today and wins by more than 5. And it's a great run for Pitt. Won 2 games in the tournament, but it ends today. I personally don't like it, but I'm rolling the Musketeers here. That brings me to our 4th bet today, which is Creighton +1.5. To me, this is pretty clear who the right side is, and that's definitely Creighton. There's a few factors for that. First off, Scott Drew and McDermott as coaches are a wash. Like, I think they're both great coaches. But the Creighton has the shooters to go toe-to-toe with Flagler and George if this game gets into a shootout. Plus, Creighton has the size to bother them in the trenches with Kalkbrenner. Plus, Nembhard on Creighton is such a good point guard. Like, he's so great. And he can control the place. Flagler is great as well, but I love Creighton in this spot, especially since Creighton doesn't commit cheap fouls. I've watched them all year, and they don't foul. And it's very impressive how they do this because they play their starting 5 so much. They've learned how to defend really well without fouling. And for me, I just think it's really imperative to keep the Baylor guards off the line because they'll make free throws at an 80-85% clip. If they can defend without fouling, they win this game going away. I love Creighton here. The public is all over Baylor, but if you've watched Baylor recently, they are not good. Like, they are not playing well right now. I'm going with Creighton +1.5 to upset Baylor here. Next, we have TCU +4.5 versus the Gonzaga. TCU is the better team. Yes, I said it. I'm extremely high on TCU. They had a hiccup against Arizona State. They still won, but a little bit of a hiccup. But TCU is good enough to win this game outright. They'll have the best player on the court, Mike Miles. Also, Grand Canyon gave Gonzaga serious problems, and TCU was way more skilled, had way better size, and just better overall. And I honestly think, again, Mark Few, he's been doing this forever. But I think Jamie Dixon is as good of a coach as Mark Few. That's not really saying much about Jamie Dixon per se. I just don't think Mark Few's that good of a coach. They don't really play anybody, and this is the first opportunity for them to play anybody. I like TCU plus the points. I think they went outright. I think you could sprinkle the money line a little bit, but I'm going with the +4.5 here. TCU is going to win this game, though. Next, we're going to switch gears for a quick second, which we're going to the NIT. I love Colorado here, -4.5 versus Utah Valley. Colorado's gotten better all year. They're playing at home in the elevation, and they have incredible size. Public is all over Utah Valley for some reason. I'm rolling with Colorado laying the number here. Now, there's 2 games I'm going to add later. I'm still deciding on them, though, because they're toss-ups. To me, they're coin flips, and I want to wait a little bit closer to game time. The 2 games I'm going to be adding are St. Mary's versus UConn. I love UConn, -3.5. And then Miami and Indiana. That game is just such a toss-up to me. I think they're both great teams. So I'm going to figure that one out a little bit closer to game time. Make sure you guys check my Twitter for that. My Twitter is in the description below. So a quick recap of what we have set in stone, okay? We have Marquette moneyline -140. We have Kentucky -2.5. We have Xavier -4.5. Creighton +1.5, TCU +4.5, Colorado -4.5, and then we'll be adding St. Mary's and UConn and Miami and Indiana later. So, look, guys, let's lock in those picks. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure y'all check out those other videos.